Hi everybody, it's Linda. Today I thought I'd give you a few reviews on some items I've picked up at the dollar stores, and also a quick little tutorial on how to make my soap pouch. Okay, and this, well, I'll get more into that when I do it. Okay, the first up, the sharpener from Dollar Tree. Right, $1.25. I put in the batteries. This, as you can see, this needs sharpening. Not bad. I mean, it does what it needs to do. And really, if you look, it's just a regular cheapy sharpener, but it's attached to, a rotor. I'm not sure if I'm saying any of this right. That makes it spin, right? Anyway, so that works. To me, that's fine. I have expensive and handheld ones all over the house, but this can now live at my desk because, of course, when you want one, you can't find one. Okay, so that's like, oh, that's okay. That's a good one. Now this, the $4 hair straightener from Dollarama. I bought it for the craft room, and yes, it can straighten hair, and because of the items I use, I could use it on my hair if I wanted to, because all I'm straightening is fabric, ribbon, and lace. So here, oh, sorry, I did that one earlier, but then I had to redo the video. So here's a wrinkly piece of fabric, okay? So instead of getting out my ironing board or even setting up, I have a little mini ironing board here beside my machine. Let's use, this has been warmed up. I have it set at max. So you just put it in and just pull it through. And look, it's already pretty straight already. So I'm going to do it again. And if I squeeze tighter, and you can see can you see the heat coming off? Well, maybe you can't, but I can. I don't know if you can, but it's there. I'll do the other end just because I was holding it. And yeah, so there it is. It's all nice and flat. So most fabrics and ribbon and stuff can be used with this. Just nothing too plasticky or it'll melt and possibly, stick forever to this thing. Anyway, of course, you don't touch the plates. And now I have to do the settings and all that in here, but if you're just careful, I'm going to push it to off. So now it's off. There's no green light. The green light flashes until it's ready. So I'm just going to unplug it and move it away. And as far as I'm concerned, this is worth 2 thumbs up. It's a good hair straightener and craft tool. So I highly recommend it if you can still find them. Good luck. Now the second thing, risers. So these were those plaques that Dollar Tree was selling. And then I used my different blocks that I bought from Dollarama, Dollar Tree, and your dollar store with more. So this is a 3/4 inch. So, it rises it up. If you want to display an item like this glue. And if you have, I have a couple that are the same size. So if you cut it's hard to, sorry, maybe I can tip the camera. If you have a couple that are like this, and then you can put one across if you wanted to really extend your display area. I just fell in love with the picture on Pinterest and was determined to do them, and now I'm done, and I think I'm okay. I had bought the bigger packs, but they're thinner. As you can see how much thinner it is. 3 different shapes I have right now, and I may or may not do the same thing. So we'll see. So I do have the bigger balls, wooden beads, circles that Victoria sent me. Thank you, Victoria. But we'll see if I decide to use those plaques as well. I probably will. And then I left them unpainted because I figure one day if I ever do decide to paint them or give them away, then they can be refinished then. Okay, so the third thing is my soap pouch. Now, if you saw my video where I mentioned it, there used to be these businesses, these like stores called the Crafters Marketplace. I lived in Toronto then, and there was one in Scarborough and one in Pickering. And the one in Pickering is near the Fabricland and Dollar Tree Plaza. It's in that plaza. Well, it used to be. So even though I lived in Toronto and I grew up in Durham, I would sometimes come out to Pickering and hit their store as well. And I don't remember which location, but one of the booths, because crafters would rent a booth and sell their items. It could be paintings. It could be doodads like this. It didn't matter. It was a wonderful place to shop, but you needed a few hours just to walk around. It's amazing. So, and I do have a lot of stuff from there in my house because that Crafters Marketplace was amazing. I'm sad that it didn't, I guess, do well enough to stay open because both places closed like the minute I moved away from Toronto, so I think it was my fault. Anyway, so one of the booths was selling these pouches, and this was in the 90s, like late 90s, when I first found these, possibly even early 2000. I waited too long to go buy some more, and when I went back, I couldn't find that booth. And then, like I said, a little while later, it just disappeared completely. I've never, in the more than 20 years now, I looked in like Bed Bath & Beyond and all those, bathy stores, and I've never ever seen a pouch like this ever. And it's made of loofah. So what I did was I bought the Simply Spa Pure Bath and Body Care Exfoliating Washcloth from Dollar Tree. Okay, $1.25. So I like that it already had a loop on there, because that's good for hanging or just to, you have to hang it somewhere in your bathroom. So I didn't really measure this. I sort of did it by hand, by sight. And the only soap I have is Irish Spring, and I have to buy my own soap. This is my husband's soap. I just use his. But I do want to get my own for this, so I don't want Irish Spring. But as a sample, now Irish Spring bars tend to be smaller than normal, I think. So you just put it in, right? It's Velcro. And I just slip it in there, and then I Velcro it closed. Oh, let me just straighten out the soap. I Velcro it closed. And now the soap is in there, and it's fine. The water won't do anything to Velcro, and it can hang, and it's lovely. So when it's time to take, well, you wouldn't take it out. What you do is all those little bits of soap, all those little pieces that, you don't want to throw out, but yet you don't use anymore, and they tend to accumulate. You put them in here. You can even have an extra one to collect those pieces of all the different little soap bits, and then you just have it in here, and they'll get used because the soap will come through and you're helping your skin. It's wonderful. So I didn't, like I said, I didn't really measure, but it's around between 4 and 5 inches from sewed edge to sewed edge, okay? So take it out of the package and you look at this washcloth. And what I had to determine was I need to fold it into like threes, right, with an overlap. So if I had to look at it carefully and decide, like, if I go this way, sorry, if I go this way, look how like angled it would be, and I'm trying to, right? So I realized, well, if I just go like this, so if I just turn it, I had to figure out a way, well, maybe that was the right way, so that I can pull it a bit to try and straighten it out more, because I want this as close to the top as possible. So over here, here's an example. So I have it close to the top. So if I sew across, I can trim off the excess bits like I did here. It's hard to see, but I did trim them off. Or maybe I didn't, but I did trim it off down here because of trying to get this to be as flat, as level as possible up here. I had to sew it at an angle down here. Now, anyway, so I got this to the point where I was happy with how almost straight it is, and I pinned it. And they're approximately 3 inches long. I need more. I only have 2 more pieces left other than this one that's in here. Velcro strips. So I need to buy more at like Dollar Tree, or I think Dollarama sells them. So I need the strips. And so they're around like 2.5 to 3 inches long. It doesn't really matter. So I cut those and I pin them in. So I'm going to sew them on my machine, and then down here is approximately where I'm going to sew it across. So first thing I'm going to do is sew the Velcro. Okay, so it tends to shift a bit on me. So I'm going to get my clips and do it like this, do it like this, take out the pin. So I'll do this side and I'll just run it through. So this is going to be a little bit loud. Hope I can do this without too much cursing on air. All right, let's see. And if I have a hard time trying to get it right, I just go down the two sides. I don't have to go down zigzag. I don't have to go down all four, like the little ends. So I'm just going to do a quick zigzag down. All right. Okay, so pull this out. Oh, there we go. Okay, so it's not the prettiest, but it's there. And I even thought of originally doing it down the middle, a wider zigzag, but that just means the edges will curl up and get in the way and get caught on, each other. So now I'm just going to go shove this further in and do the other side. All right, here we go. Yes, as different YouTubers say, talk amongst yourselves. And all right, here we go. Okay, so that one worked. So I'm just going to trim the extra little bits of thread here. Ooh, lots. I didn't trim earlier, did I? And yeah, like see how I had to, you can kind of see it here. Oops. See how I had to sort of force it over. Like it started to pull away at the ends there. All right, now the Velcro, I always think of this as this is the piece, the anchoring piece. So when I'm opening something with Velcro, I always think the softer side is the side that pulls away, and this is the hardcore piece that sticks on the object. Okay, that's how I think of it. I think that's how it's supposed to go because it's such a strong piece, right? Anyway, so now we're going to do the same thing with this side. Darn it, hang on. It's just slipping on me. Okay, let me just get this down here. All right. So, excuse any swearing. I shouldn't be swearing. Threads out of the way. Get this over here. Yeah, it would be easier if I didn't have the ends pinned, but I just didn't want to unpin anything. All right. I have a universal needle. It might not like it that much, but it's still working. Okay. Let's get this up and out. And as you can see, my sewing drifted a bit at the top. And then it went closer to the edge there, but I don't care. Bottom line is it's on there, and now I just have to sew. Okay, I had scissors. Oh, sorry, they're where they're supposed to be. So I'm just going to snip these threads off, and then I'm going to sew the inner side. Okay. Wait. There we go. And here we go. Okay, so there, we got the Velcro, which is the hardest part to sew, done. So let me do that. And, oh, see, poking myself. Okay, there. So you can see the sewing, but who cares? It's a soap pouch. So now I'm going to sew underneath here with where the pin is, and then close the top. And again, I'll just use the zigzag. Okay. I made a shocking discovery when I was out getting the soap just a few minutes ago. Somebody in this house, my son, turned on the heat. I had the AC on until now, but the thing is, he touched the thermostat without my permission. It truly is that scene from Grown Ups or Daddy's Home 2, where the men are all freaking out because the teenager touched the thermostat. Why do you turn on the thermostat? Why do you put the AC on and then open up your... No, what was it she did? She turned on the heat really high and then opens her window. They were screaming at her. Oh my God, I was dying. Okay, anyway, so now I'm going to sew down here. So like I said, it's around between 4 and 5 inches. Yeah, it's about the 5-inch mark this time, or a bit shorter. So I'm just going to sew straight across. And... and that should... Uh-oh. Oh. What happened there? Oh, I ran out of bobbin. But you know what? I ran out of bobbin just as I finished. So, let me just... See? It's empty. Now, I did make up a bunch, so... Oh, I only have 2 left here. Well, now we're down to 1. So, I'll just put this bobbin in my machine. And we are all good. All right. Okay. Phew. That was close. Okay. So I'm just trimming the thread. And now, take off that clip. Now, it would be easier. Like, what I should have done was after I got the Velcro lined up, then I could worry about getting this level. But for me, I just thought it would be easier to know exactly how I'm sewing it. So, sorry, I have to try and clean up as I go. Okay, so now I'm just going to trim carefully some of these pieces here. Just some of the bulk here. Okay, and then, that's garbage. And then down here. And ta-da! There we go. We now have, throw that over there. We now have another soap pocket. So I highly recommend, if you have a sewing machine, to give this a try. See how they're slightly, like the one I just made is a bit bigger, longer, but that's fine. And yeah, and that way, like if you buy the bigger like Doves or whatever, it would fit in there. But you can certainly figure out the size with a bar of soap first to figure out exactly how you want to do it. But yeah, once I realized that I want, and I see how it's on different ends. I think it's only because if I folded this way, it would be over there. So, and as long as it's at the top, so yeah, like that. Being here, it's too low, but being up here, I have a better chance. Being up here, I have a better chance of pulling that up to straighten that out. So knowing that, I can then add Velcro pieces down here without having anything all pinned up and making it a lot easier to sew. So that is how I make the soap pouch. I hope you guys like that little confusing tutorial. Sorry sorry about the angle, but I can't edit. I'm sorry. I have no idea how to do any of that. And I hope you liked my little review on the few other things. I think that was a total of 4 items I showed you. Anyway, thanks for sticking with me this long, and feel free to ask me any more questions. I'll try and answer them, or even do a picture or something if I have to. So I hope you all have a great day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.